And this is what recovery is all about. Step 4 begins with what? What kind of step? A growth step. So we can actually start at this particular point, having worked steps 1 through 3, we can actually look for growth in our lives. Why? Because what we're doing is I like what it says a little bit further. It says we are engaging in a pattern or an adventure of self-discovery with step 4. And it continues, this self-discovery continues through steps 7. During the next 4 steps, we'll prepare a personal inventory and discuss it with others in the program. And then I like this part, and invite. Again, I said it's all voluntary. We invite God to remove our shortcomings. And there's a word that's used maybe twice, if not 3 times, as we finish this paragraph, and it is honesty. Being totally honest, and then it goes down in terms of the self-discovery aspect of step number 4. It talks about it is the foundation. And then it goes into the next sentence. It says, how do we benefit? This honesty allows us to remove obstacles that have prevented us from knowing ourselves truthfully and acknowledging the deepest feelings. And so, if you want to be victorious, what is the word I want to say? Not victorious. What is that? Victorious. If you want to be victorious over denial, you have to be honest. Honesty will actually allow you to have victory over those issues that you actually bring in terms of coming up to step 4. And then we go down a little bit further, and we talk about issues that we've hidden. And I like this one term, and most of us heard it when we were out there using. How about this one? We all got a shady side to us. Anybody know about that? That dressed up side, we don't let nobody might put a nice suit on. And I think we talked about that, and maybe I don't want to offend anybody, but if you put lipstick on a pig, what do you got? A pig with lipstick on. But the point of it is you can dress her up, but you can clean up the outside as much as you want. But until you deal with those deep issues of ourselves in terms of that we've been denied, or worse yet, we're going to see further on that we've learned how to creatively coincide with our shady side. And actually to embrace that shady side. So here's what we want to do in terms of that hidden side. That is actually us, and it's been hidden away for quite so long. We've embraced it, and it's a part of our behavior. And then what we want to do is, as we look deep, and God again allows us to see that special need or those deep issues inside of us. If we look down a little bit further, the reason we benefit from looking at the shady side or the shadowy side of us, let's look in the middle of that paragraph. The second paragraph, it says, this part of our man, how about this one? Nature. And that's a big word. This part of our nature, this is part of our nature, and this part of our nature hides our what? There's some more issues over here. That hides resentment as well as fears, and you'll find out, and other repressed feelings. Those are some issues that we all have, and we're going to talk about those in to a greater degree a little bit later. But they all are attached to our, guess what? Shady side or the shadowy side. And here's what happened is, and I like the way that he talks about this. You know, a lot of us learn to have 2 personalities from the family that we grew up in. You know, whether your parent, like, I'll share this with you. My father was an alcoholic. And so a lot of times he would have 2 different personalities when he would come home. So if I wanted to get in the good graces of my father, I had to switch my attitude up. If he was drinking, I had to know how to talk to him when he was drinking. If he was good on some days, and he wasn't slapping nobody around, then I'd have to adjust to be able to deal with him on those days. Or, how I would ask him for things, and it just affected the entire family. And so I don't know what your particular issue was, but if you look and do that inventory from step 1 to step 3, you'll see that there was a personality that you adjusted to or that you embraced that allowed you to get, and if we begin, look, I like this. Let's look at 61 again at the end of that. If we don't seriously examine those childhood deceptive sides of us and shady sides of us, and they call this survivor behavior, survival skills that we develop as a child. I tell you what, though, In the context of our turbulent early years, these behaviors were life-saving. But we finish it out in that chapter right there. However, check this out. If you don't deal with it right now, or if you let those behaviors continue into your adult, I like the way that they put it. However, the continuation of these attitudes and behavior in our adulthood renders us what? Dysfunctional. And I tell you what, the Bible speaks to that. If you be so kind, open up your book to 1 Corinthians. I want to say maybe 1 Corinthians and 12. How about this one? I won't say a lot of us, but we can actually engage in that type of behavior for so long, we actually begin to say, you know what, that's just who I am. It might be 12, I want to say. I want to say it's the love chapter. It's the 13. Damn, I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. Help us. Help me. Let's help. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. We're a team in here. We're a team. I like for somebody, when we get there, tell the other people what pages, the other individuals here, what pages are.
1125.
And what I'm addressing is how we have engaged in such a pattern of shady activity and conduct that we've actually become, as in step 2 said, made a decision. I mean, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. They call it dysfunctional behavior. But let's see what the Bible actually has to say about that. Let's see what it says in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 12. And anyone at this point can read that. I like for someone to read that. He makes a distinction between being a child and acting as a child and being an adult. Who would like to read that?
I'll read it.
Thank you, sis.
For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as I also am known.
Let's have it. Is that
Was that 12? Was I
1 Corinthians, 13 and 12. That's my fault. No, you know what? And keep, doggone it.
Chapter 13, verse 12, right?
Okay, yeah. My fault, 11. My fault. Let's go with 11 too. That's all good.
Okay.
I like that because that's going to lead somewhere, dimly. Let's go with that. Keep going.
When I was a child,
Hold on, let's wait for Jerry. Okay, let's go, sis.
When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child.
Amen.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Mm-hmm. And so what even God says in terms of this, God has actually recognized that there are two characters that we have. Jerry, you got me on this? What he's saying is we've got a character that he makes allowances for as a child. Then he recognizes once you become a woman or a man, there are certain behaviors that we shouldn't engage in. And I like the way my sister, thank you for reading that one earlier, and it talks about when we look in the mirror. Let's go to James in terms of that. You want to deny some stuff? And you think just because you deny that one aspect that you're dealing with, that it doesn't have a rippling effect in other areas of your life. Unknowingly, I hate to be the one to tell you, it's going to affect every other area of your life as well. When you ignore or deny that issue of behavior that you're engaging in that's actually childish as well as dysfunctional. Let's look and see what the book of James has to say about that. And I like when we get there, we're going to do James. That was beautiful. You hit that part about mirror. I can't say it again. That was right on time. Yeah, right on time. James chapter 1, verse 8.
1182.
And it's a beautiful thing to have women in the room. Man, oh man, oh man. We're going to have to declare every month a season month. We're going to do, this is December, we're going to do a season month in January. Put some flowers in here. Hey man, we got some legitimacy in here today, man. Yes, we do, but we've got them. Hey, you know what? What am I yelling? The more the merrier. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh man, I'm getting kind of carried away. All right, let's go. It's about the mirror that we're talking about. The mirror reflecting. And now that we look in the mirror, that's what we're going to key off in. And we really need to come out of the denial and really look at ourselves for what it is, but only God allows us to do that. Okay, 1 and 8. Who would like to read that? Sis over there, she was smiling about that. You gonna read that in the blue shirt for us? 1 and 8. Verse 8, if you be so kind.
Okay. Such doubters, and I'm not reading from the...
Sounds good. We'll take it any way you give it to us. It mean the same.
Okay. Such doubters are thinking two different things
Amen.
at the same time, and they cannot decide about anything they do.
Ooh-wee.
They should not think they will receive anything from the
Ooh.
Lord.
Hey, we say it, and you know what? And I like the way it says, if you didn't get it the first time, doggone it, just kind of speaking to that verse, you ain't gonna get it the second time. It uses anything twice. Well, what I mean by that is, you think you can be denied, you think you're so manipulative and so shrewd that if you just deny in this one area, it's not going to have a domino rippling effect in other areas. But I do believe my sis read anything twice. So if you didn't get it the first time, you think that you got control, when really, if you had control, you out of control because you think you got control. My point of it is, in my Bible, not only you got one down there, sis, a little bit different than I think you said it. My friend, you got one. Read yours too. You said you got another version? No, my sister in the yellow sweater there.
Yeah, it just says, it's the same thing.
Yours says the same?
No, mine says,
That's
he's
happening.
a double-minded man.
Okay,
On all his ways.
Okay, how many ways?
All his
So here's the beautiful. See, it was. Hold on, Jerry. It was great that you said. Now that we look in the mirror, God makes no mistakes, and none of us at this table are a mistake. Are you following what I'm saying? What you said is, we can. How about this one? You can deny in one area, and you wonder why your life is messed up in these other areas. Are you following what I'm saying? A little leaven spoils a whole lump. You put any women, generally know how to cook, and I don't want to put. But check this out. If you can put a little leaven in, and it can make a whole difference out the whole lump of bread. Is that not true? Anybody try to make bread without any leaven? So what I'm saying is, I like this. Sometimes I like to hear something twice. Anything, what was that? Anything is said, everything. It mentioned it twice. And then my sister down there said, in every area, double. But I'm going to tell you how God really looks at that by us continually want to act as children and be shady. Let's look at Revelations. Let's see what John has to say about it. Revelations, and I'll let you know exactly what God has to say. Jerry, that's right. Hold me to the fire. Put me in there, man. Sacrifice me, man. My name is Isaac, man. Put me in there, man. Just wrap me up, throw me, sacrifice, put me on the fire. Hey, but look, I got you though, Jerry. Here it is. Revelations chapter 3. Now we heard when we look into the mirror, my sis over here, we got everything and everything. We got in every way, in all his ways. Now let's look and see what the Word of God actually has to say about us refusing to man up, or refusing to woman up, or refusing to acknowledge these issues of resentment, these issues of grudges, these issues of having denial. Let's see what he says. Refusing it. I like for somebody to read chapter 3, and we like to say it's verse 16. Hey, how about this? You want to be a middle of the road Christian, or you want to be a middle of the road recovery individual. I don't want to give it my all. I just want to ride the fence. Let's see what God has to say about you riding the fence. My brother got me right here. We got you.
16.
16, brother.
Right.
Tell us about how God feel about the fence riders.
Revelation 3 and 16. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of.
Hold on, I got to stand up on this one, man. I just got to stand up on this one here. So what he says is, we done did step 1, step 2, and step 3, and you still ain't embraced the fact that you need recovery by the time you get to step 4. So then he got an answer for you. He says, so then, I like that. So